What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying your day. Today we are reviewing the 2023 Chevy Malibu RS. Huge thank you to Paul Van Horn over at Koons, Tysons, Chevy, Buick, GMC for allowing me to do this review for you guys today. If you guys are interested in this particular Malibu or any GM product with the exception of Cadillac, I'll be sure to have Paul's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. First, let's talk about the exterior and performance. And like I said, this is a 2023 Chevy Malibu RS, and this particular one has been painted in the beautiful Riverside Blue Metallic. Wish I could show you guys this thing in direct sunlight because it's absolutely beautiful, but the sun is starting to go down, so we want to get this video done before it actually goes down all the way. So with the 2023 Malibu RS, you do get halogen headlights with IntelliBeam. IntelliBeam is just a fancy way of saying automatic high beams, and then down here is where you will find your halogen turn signals. At the center of the front end, you have a black grille with chrome surround as well as a black bow tie emblem at the center of the grille. I think it looks pretty sweet in my personal opinion, especially for the price point of this vehicle. This thing actually looks pretty sweet, and actually, funny enough, this is the only car that Chevy still makes to this day. So I think this thing looks pretty good. It's actually a great alternative to the other vehicles. Yes, it's not quite as, you know, technologically advanced on the inside as like the Honda Civic and stuff like that, but I think it still rides fantastic. It's still super comfortable, and it looks very, very good here, especially with this RS trim level. So speaking of this being an RS, you do get 18-inch black wheels with a machined face with the RS, and these wheels are wrapped in 245/45 Continental Pro Contact TX tires. Give you guys the best look of the tread pattern that I can. That's what that tread pattern looks like. And then in the front, you do get a McPherson strut suspension. So don't know if you guys can see it, but yeah, you can somewhat see it there. And this thing actually rides and handles very, very well, actually better than I expected it to. With the RS, again, you do get body color mirror caps. These mirrors are manual folding, power adjustable, and you do also get chrome window trim with the RS. You get body color door handles. With the RS, you also get black Malibu lettering on both front passenger doors. Give you guys a little side view of the Malibu because this thing actually looks pretty dang sweet here in person. I really like these wheels. I think it looks absolutely sweet, matched to the Riverside Blue Metallic. But in the rear, you get a 4-link rear suspension. But up top here, you get a body color shark fin antenna, LED third brake light. You get this sick rear spoiler. This thing actually looks pretty sweet. I'll give you guys like a view of that. It kind of like somewhat looks like one of the rear spoilers like what you would find on a Camaro. You can see it's actually pretty aggressive, like with this little flare right here. It looks pretty sweet in my personal opinion. You get black Malibu lettering, a black bow tie emblem, red RS badging. You can see your taillights just below your bow tie emblem is where you'll find your rear view camera. But let's pop open that trunk and see what kind of storage space we have down in here. Actually, a very, very good amount of storage space in here. And then down underneath here is where you will find your spare tire. So you can see spare tire, and then you also do get this cargo hook as well as another cargo hook over here, and they are body color, which is actually pretty cool. And I would say you could probably fit, you know, 4, maybe 5, I'd say more like 4 carry-on suitcases back here, but for the size of the vehicle, very, very good. And then you can pull this and that will drop or unlock the folding second row seats. This will unlock this seat. So if I come into here, it's locked, of course. I'll show you guys that when we move it in the interior. You guys get the gist. You pull on that and that will unlock those seats so you can fold them down and send longer cargo through. So pretty cool. Closing that, and then you can see you get a reflector on the left hand side of the rear valance and obviously on the right hand side of the rear valance as well. And then you get dual polish tipped exhaust. So this thing looks pretty sweet from the front to the back in my opinion. You also get a capless filler neck right here. All you got to do is press on this, that'll pop open, fill up, no problem. But I'm curious to hear what you guys think of the exterior styling of the 2023 Malibu RS. Like I said, I really like the wheels. I like the black accents. One thing I do wish though is that they would have done black window trim with the Malibu RS, as well as I wish they would have done some black chrome up front. Still looks very good nonetheless, but I really wish they would have done the black window trim. But again, I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section down below. But let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals that 1.5 liter turbo 4-cylinder that makes 160 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a continuously variable transmission for a 0 to 60 time in 7.8 seconds. If you guys were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 27 miles per gallon in the city, 35 miles per gallon on the highway for 30 miles per gallon combined. And the only thing that really changed on the Malibu for 2023 is that they did do away with the bigger 2-liter motor, as well as they got rid of the Premier trim level, which came with the 2-liter. So yes, it's a little bit slower for 2023, but that's literally the only thing that they changed for 2023. But if you guys are enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. I'm really gunning for 10,000 subscribers, and I cannot do that without your guys' help. So if you guys would help me get to 10K subs, give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. With that out of the way, let's move into the interior. This is a 2023 model year vehicle after all, so you do get keyless access. All you got to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, press on this button right here, and the vehicle will unlock. You can also lock the vehicle by pressing on that button as well. But there are a couple things that I wanted to show you guys with the key fob. Actually, maybe I guess only one thing that you can do with the key fob is that you can open up the trunk by pressing this button twice, and then the trunk will pop open. Obviously, you can unlock and lock the doors, as well as press and hold on this, and that will turn your panic alarm on. So, but let's move into the interior and take a look at our driver's side door panel. So taking a look at the driver's side door panel, you can see this part of the door panel is wrapped in that premium cloth material, and your armrest is nicely padded. You get an aluminum door handle, unlock and lock buttons. You have your power adjustable mirror controls right here. Pressing on this button will lock your passenger window privileges, automatic down windows at all 4 corners, and then a little bit of miscellaneous storage space towards the bottom of the door panel, and a spot you can set a Deer Park water bottle right here. But you do get an 8-way power driver seat and a 6-way manual passenger seat. But let's step into the interior and let's see what the 2023 Malibu has to offer here on the interior. So I got to say that these seats are actually very, very comfortable. I sit right into them, and I feel like I could do quite a long road trip here in this Malibu RS. But obviously, like I said, 2023 model year vehicle. If you get keyless access, that also means you get push button start. So push your foot down on the brake and push to start. You can hear that 1.5 liter roar to life. Pressing on this button will pop out this little nub, so you can either brighten and or dim your backlit gauges, as well as your backlit buttons with this knob right here. Just to the right of that, you have your headlight control switch. So if I twist this one to the right, that turns my daytime running lights on. If I twist this all the way to the right, that turns my headlights always on. Twist this all the way back into automatic, and that is automatic light control on. Last but not least, if you twist this once to the left, you can turn automatic light control off. But I personally would keep automatic light control on, just because it turns the lights on and off for you, so you don't have to worry about that. Let's take a look at our turn signal stock. So let's turn that on. That is what your turn signal sounds like in the 2023 Malibu. Pressing on this button will turn IntelliBeam on or off. So like I said, IntelliBeam is just a fancy way of saying automatic high beams. Obviously, you can see we have a nice leather wrapped steering wheel with some black stitching. It feels very nice in your hands. I love the 9-3 grip. Right over here, you have your cruise control settings. This is your collision alert sensitivity. So you can see that's the most sensitive mode. That's the middle sensitive. And then that is the most sensitive collision alert mode. Pressing on that, you can turn lane keep assist on or off. You can see if it's on with that amber light lit up, that's off. Let's take a listen to our horn. That is what the horn sounds like on the 2023 Malibu. This is to pick up on a phone call and or speak to the vehicle. This is to hang up on a phone call. And then these 4 arrows, as well as this check mark, are to control what goes on in your productivity screen. So right now you can see we have our speedometer on it. Go down 1, that's trip 1, that's trip 2, that's our fuel range, that's our average vehicle speed, that's our timer, and then that brings us back into our speed, which this is probably the screen that I would personally leave it on. If I push this one to the right, that brings us into our vehicle stuff. So right now that's our oil life, air filter life, oil pressure, tire pressure, following distance, battery voltage, coolant temperature, units, so you can adjust your different units. You can turn the speed warning on, and then that brings us back into our oil life. Go back one more to the right, and that brings us into our eco. So you can see Eco Index and then our fuel economy. So those are the 2 screens. Like I said, this right here is the screen that I would personally leave it on. You can see the W, that lets us know that we're facing in a westerly direction. That's our odometer, and then obviously P is for park. On the left-hand side of the gauge cluster, you have your RPM gauge. On the right-hand side of the gauge cluster, you have your speedometer. Again, this is your digital speedometer readout, so very, very easy to maintain speed on the highway. Again, apologize for that voice crack. That is your fuel gauge. You can see your little gas pump right there is pointing to the right-hand side of the vehicle. That lets you know that you fill the vehicle up on the right-hand side of the vehicle. So if you see that arrow right there was pointing to the left, that means you would fill the vehicle up on the left-hand side of the vehicle. That is our coolant temperature gauge. And then I guess last thing that I wanted to point out is that right here, that lets you know if auto stop start is on or off. So you can see if auto stop start, like, turned on, or I guess turned the vehicle off, but auto stop, you know what I mean, then this needle will go all the way down to where it says auto stop. So yeah, and obviously you can turn auto stop on or off by the push of this button, but we'll get to that here in a second. This is your windshield wiper control stock. So if I pull back on that, you can see the windshield wipers wash. You guys know how that works. Again, push button start. All of this is, again, some of that premium cloth material in jet black. You have 4 HVAC vents, 1, 2, 3, and 4 on your dash. They all have some nice satin aluminum trim. It looks pretty sweet. And then you have your 8-inch infotainment system with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto connectivity, which I personally really like. You definitely don't need built-in navigation if you have wireless Apple CarPlay or wireless Android Auto, because you can just project your Waze onto the infotainment screen. So let's go throughout the infotainment screen. You can go into more, get your AM, FM, and Bluetooth stuff, so you do not get Sirius XM on this vehicle. If I press on this brings me into my home screen. Actually, this is my home screen. So you got your preset radio stations up top there. This lets you know what you're listening to at the current moment. This lets you know if your phone is connected or not. We'll swipe over to the right. You can go to your audio stuff, your phone stuff. This is a Wi-Fi hotspot capable vehicle. You can go into your different settings, which I'll show you guys. You can you know, change all these different things. But anyway, that's that for the settings. Then you get your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and OnStar services. This is your current time. This is the ambient exterior temperature. This is your 4G LTE signal. Home button, this is to go back on a track. This is to go forward on a track or tune your radio. So right now you can see it's tuning the radio. And then this is also your back button. Obviously, this is your volume knob. Pressing on this, that will mute the audio. This is your auto stop start on or off. This is your hazards. You can see hazards are flashing. And then this is your single zone climate control stack. So you guys can see a pause, or you can pause your screen. You can go throughout your climate control stack. And then down here, you got a USB-C port, a USB-A port, an auxiliary jack, and a 12-volt power outlet, as well as a spot you can set your phone down here while it is charging using any one of those things. This is traction control off. You got 2 cup holders right here. And one thing I like about the Malibu RS, or I guess Chevy shifters in general, is that they're very notchy. So you can see you go into reverse, you go into neutral, you go into drive, or you can go into low. So you can see, obviously, when you put it in reverse, the backup camera pops up. But one thing I like also about this shifter, as you can see, you got your RS specific shifter with, again, the RS trim level. And then on the right, or the left hand side, I don't know my right from my left today, this is to downshift and this is to upshift. So if you put it into drive, or if you put it into low, you can upshift or downshift your different gears. You got an electronic emergency brake, so if you pull up on that, the emergency brake engages. If you guys want to disengage the emergency brake, make sure you have your foot on the brake and push down on this, and then it disengages. So got another spot you could set your key fob if you wanted to. You get a nicely padded and leather wrapped center fold down armrest. So when I open this up, you actually have a decent amount of space down in there. Pretty much, like, I'd say 80% of my forearm fits down in there. So that's actually a very good amount of storage space down in your center fold down armrest. And then you can also set some business cards right here if you wanted to. Anyway, closing that, this is your rear view mirror. It's just a standard rear view mirror, no auto dimming or anything. This is your OnStar stuff. This lets you know if your passenger airbag is on or off. You get your driver light, you got your passenger light. Those are both in LED. And then if I press on this, now when I open up the door, the interior lights will not turn on. So when that's lit up, the interior lights do not turn on with the door being open. Now quick click that again. Now when I open up the door, the interior lights do turn on, and I can see on the camera that looks like it's flashing. In real life here, it is not flashing. And then pressing on this will turn on all the interior dome lights. So you get a halogen dome light in the back, LED lights here in the front. Fold this down, opening this up, you get a vanity mirror with 0 vanity lights. So that's about that. Let's see if this thing will slide. I don't think it does. So pull back on that. No, it does not slide. And then last but not least to do with this is that you have a clip right here so you can set a parking ticket. So you go into a parking garage, they give you a little redeem ticket, set it up here so you don't lose it. And then once you leave, you can grab your parking ticket, give it to the kiosk guy, and then you don't have to worry about losing that. And then this side looks the exact same. So folding this down, you get a vanity mirror, no vanity light, and then you get another clip. Passenger gets an OPU panel. Driver does not get an OPU panel. You got this Bluetooth mic pickup for your Bluetooth phone. Passenger also gets a Bluetooth mic pickup for the Bluetooth phone located right there. That is what the passenger seat looks like. You get a little bit of bolstering, and again, these seats are super comfortable. Then let's take a look at our glove box. You actually have a good amount of storage space there in your glove box, but you got like this weird little hump thing. So definitely not the biggest glove box that I have seen in my life, but you can definitely fit what you need to in there. You got a speaker there, another speaker over there as well. There are a couple things that I wanted to read to you guys. I took my glasses off. Weird to see my eyes, but anyway, a couple cool things. Like I have a new segment called Kenny's Key Features, and this particular RS has 0 options on it. I mean, there's not even 1 option on this RS. So a couple things that I wanted to read that, you know, I wanted to highlight include a Wi-Fi hotspot. So this is a Wi-Fi hotspot capable vehicle. As well as these premium cloth seats are super comfortable. You get a power 8-way driver seat and a 6-way manual passenger seat. You also do get forward collision alert and lane keep assist, which is pretty cool. I'll throw the safety and security stuff on screen first for you guys to read along with me. So the safety and security stuff includes a tire pressure monitor system, remote panic alarm, rear door locks and child security, theft deterrent system, content theft alarm, Chevy Safety Assist, which includes your automatic high beams, following distance indicator, forward collision alert, lane keep assist with lane departure warning, automatic emergency braking, and front pedestrian braking. And obviously this has a rear view camera. Let's talk about the government safety ratings. So the frontal crash for the driver and the passenger, you get 5 stars, and then this has a 4-star rollover rating. So that's pretty good. Does not have an overall vehicle score. Let's talk about the MSRP. So the MSRP of this particular 2023 Malibu RS is $26,795. However, this particular one, I believe, is selling for $24,295. So this is about $2,000 below MSRP, 2,000 and some change below MSRP. So for $24,000, I think this is a pretty dang good value in my personal opinion. There aren't really that many cars nowadays that you can get for $24,000. So considering you get something that's actually decently peppy, it's super comfortable, which is very important for a daily driver. You know, this is actually a really good vehicle. Again, not much that you can get nowadays for $24,000, but I do want to show you guys what's going on in those rear seats before we move into the driving portion of the review. But again, this thing looks pretty dang sweet for being a $24,000 car. So, you know, good amount of value there in my opinion. Take a look at the door panel for the rear passengers. You can see all of this material right here is all that premium cloth material. Automatic down window, aluminum door handle, and a good amount of miscellaneous storage space at the bottom of the door panel. Here are your rear seats. Again, like I said, I unlocked it so you can fold these both down. This one you can fold down as well, so you can send whatever cargo you need to through there. But I'm gonna close that back up. I'm gonna close this back up so I can sit down in it. And let's take a look at what the seats are like back here. So I am adjusted behind myself. I am 5'9". I've got plenty of leg room, plenty of knee room, and a good amount of headroom as well. So you can see, let's see, good amount of headroom, very good amount of knee room down in there. So I'm actually pretty comfortable, and I could see myself doing a, you know, probably a 6-hour road trip back here and have no complaints. So you got a spot you can hold your cleaners up top here, another spot you can hold your cleaners right there. Again, you get a halogen light, and then this is a Bluetooth mic pickup for your rear passengers. I think I pointed this out, but I'm gonna point it out again if I did. You get a seat back pocket behind the passenger seat, but you do not get one behind the driver's seat. And then down here you have a 12-volt power outlet. So, you know, not too much going on here. Again, this is a pretty much totally unoptioned 23 Malibu RS, so this literally has 0 options on it. And considering it has 0 options on it, you know, it's fairly well equipped, you know, with those safety features and stuff like that. But you know, we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I will see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, guys, and now on to the driving portion of the review. We'll do a little mild acceleration right here. You guys can see that it accelerates to speed pretty dang well. I don't feel like it needs to have any more power, and for a daily driver, I think it's actually pretty well, you know, it's got more than adequate power. Yes, you know, it's not the fastest thing in the entire world, but it still has a very good amount of power, and the suspension on this thing is very good. Like, we just went over that bridge, and that bridge stinks. There's potholes everywhere, and it handles those bumps so well. So let's see what it does around this turn here. And it also handles like turns surprisingly well. You know, you would take a look at this thing, you'd be like, okay, you know, that's probably be a good daily driver, but it's surprising how well that it takes bumps. Like, it actually handles pretty dang well. You got a deer right there, which usually means that there are more. But I love the color on this thing. Like I said, this thing, for a daily driver, the suspension handles bumps very, very well. It also handles turns very well. So this thing actually could be, you know, decently fun driving on a back road, because it handles well. It handles, or it stays like very flat going around turns and stuff like that. And if you guys have seen any of my other videos, you guys know, and I apologize if the sun is directly in the camera, but you guys know that I always talk very well of, or very, yeah, I guess very well would be the correct word. Very highly, I guess, would be a better word. Very highly of Chevy suspensions, GMC suspensions, or GM suspensions as a whole. They all are just very well tuned for, you know, daily driving as well as, you know, back road carving. So you can actually, you know, take a Tahoe around some back roads, and it remains very flat and very planted around turns, and this is no different. So this thing also handles very well around turns. You know, the steering weight is also very nice for a vehicle like this. Sometimes manufacturers make the steering feel too light, whereas I think this one is a nice balance between light and heavy. It's kind of just like a nice, like, it's nicely tuned for what the RS should be, and that is like the sporty version of the Malibu. I know it doesn't make any more power or anything like that, but it feels very good. Like, when I'm doing this, like, the body roll is just to an absolute minimum. And like I said, that's what I really like about Chevy suspensions, is that all Chevrolet suspensions, or GM, like I said, suspensions as a whole, are so good for bumps, for back road driving, for daily driving. They're just very nicely tuned as a whole. So this thing is no different. And the power, like I said, the power, you know, it doesn't feel like a 392 Scat Pack, or, you know, like a Chevy SS would, but you know, for something that you're going to be using as a daily driver, like, we'll throw it into this turn here, and you can see that it's got enough get up and go to have a little bit of fun, you know, like right there. You know, I didn't push it very hard, but we'll throw it around this turn, see what it does. And you can see that it handles so well, surprisingly well, in my opinion. But it's just, it's fun to drive, you know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna get in this thing and be like, man, this thing sucks, this thing's boring, like, I'd rather be driving a Toyota Prius right now, because that is not the case. This thing is a good mix of fun and comfortable. And this Macan came flying up on me going around those turns, and honestly is tailgating me a little bit right now. But it's super comfortable, very easy to drive, very easy to park. You know, this one, like I said, has 0 options on it. And this is the second person to tailgate me on this part. Like, I just did a video with a Silverado High Country, and the person where I was driving on this part was really tailgating the crap out of me, and this person's doing the same thing. You can see right there. The speed limit's 25. But anyway, you know, this thing rides so well. The speaker system's actually pretty good, considering that this is the base sound system. So, you know, if you guys want a little bit more, you know, I don't know if you can get the Harman or the Bose sound system. I'm sure you can in the 2LT, but this one, you know, this one does plenty fine, and I think this is the best looking Malibu out of all the Malibu trim levels. This person's really starting to annoy me, just riding the absolute crap out of me, but it is what it is. You know, this thing super smooth on the highway, super smooth in town. It's got great amount of power for, you know, daily driver use. Like I said, it's not going to be, you know, as powerful as that Bentley that you see right there, or as powerful as like a Camaro SS or anything like that, but got more than adequate power for a daily driver, and I think it's got just the right amount of power, honestly, for a daily driver. And the suspension, or not the suspension, the engine noise is not offensive. You know, it actually is pretty quiet, and you can't really say that about all vehicles with a continuously variable transmission, but this one, it's not too offensive. So suspension is great, power is more than adequate, and you know, you get the wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, you got the power driver seat, manual passenger seat. So this thing for $24,000, or just a touch over $24,000, is a great value in my opinion. So, but that's it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. Like I said, I'm really gunning for 10,000 subscribers, and I cannot do that without your guys' help. So if you guys would, please give the video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. But I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.